Mandy Rose's wet dream. She squirted her sun cream everywhere, and on top of that, herself and Otis, they proper necked on with tongues and everything. It was absolutely gruesome, so it was. And this just might be one of the weirdest WTF moments for SmackDown starts in the history of this crappy video series, but this week's SmackDown was absolutely great. I was captivated, despite the hairy start the show had. More on that later. I was captivated from start to finish. It all flowed well. Everything meant something. It was a great watch. It had something for everybody, so it did. We had a proper meaty storyline. We had great professional wrestling action all the way throughout the show. We had some humor. We had some pure, sexy sexness. All the sexness in the world. We had a horny Kurt Angle. There was something for everybody. This has to be the best episode of SmackDown since SmackDown moved to Fox last year. Good stuff. More of this, please. But I am Ross Twiddell from Cultaholic.com. Me eye has returned to full-ish fitness. There we go. And here are all the WTF moments from this week's Smackity Down. Hit the intro, man. WTF. But then we started this week's SmackDown by looking back at some NXT as Elias... Wait there. Elias? Hang on. This was SmackDown. Now, first of all, what the hell has Elias done to every single WWE superstar who is employed by WWE today? This is the second time Elias has had attempted murder done to him since just before WrestleMania 36. We saw big baldy bastard Baron Corbin Mufasa Elias off a really high thing, and now somebody has tried to run over Elias with the attempts to kill him. So somebody put some heavy protection on Elias. Maybe the APA, they are always pounding ass, remember. But also, what has Elias done to deserve this horrible, horrible treatment? But I was saying, yes, we're looking back at NXT at the start of this week's SmackDown because, of course, that scene there, the NXT Performance Center car park, is one of the most devastating sights in NXT history. Whenever you see the car park, you know something horrible is going to go down. I tell you what, you can take me and you can put me in any battlefield from throughout history. You don't have to give me any weapons, you don't have to give me any armor, and I would rather be there than just having a casual stroll through the NXT Performance Center car park. Because you know, when you're having a casual stroll through the NXT Performance Center car park, something horrible is going to happen to you. It's not a good place to be. And if there was one name you did not want to hear be on that piece of paper inside of a car that first of all hit Elias, knocked him over, tried to kill Elias, second of all crashed into a big hard bush, and third of all had a bottle of whiskey next to the driver's seat, that name of course is Jeffrey Hardy. And I know I was saying exactly all of the things you were saying right at the start of last night's SmackDown. First of all, why the hell are they doing this to Jeff Hardy? Of all people, I don't know WWE. Would an Uso not have been a better fit for this silly professional wrestling storyline? You're taking stuff from people's real lives and putting them into wrestling storylines. To do this to Jeff Hardy, it just felt really too soon. Yes, we all know that Jeff Hardy has made his demons part of his return to Smackity Down. Those promo packages, they were wonderful, but initially it felt like to do this to Jeff Hardy so soon after those demons reared their ugly head, and with those demons potentially be reoccurring, it just felt really ooh. It just felt like Hawk's storyline from the Attitude Era, Scott Hall's storyline from WCW, storylines that have been universally panned in the couple of decades since. So why, initially, it felt like, why are we going back down this road once again? But we might as well deal with it now. Right at the end of the show, Jeffrey Hardy made his big comeback to Smackity Down. Yes, he was whisked away by police at the start of the show, but he came back at the end, first of all, proving his innocence. Lovely stuff there. And second of all, it was heavily implied that Shamus was the person who framed Jeff Hardy. Sheamus was the guy who had somebody run over Elias, or maybe Sheamus himself was the driver of the car who hit Elias, or who knows, maybe Elias is in on the whole thing. We don't know what's to come here. And as long as Jeff Hardy was comfortable doing this, with it being so really real feeling, with, you know, Jeff Hardy's real life issues being the thing that they are, more power to him. Because I don't know about you, after seeing the big return at the end of the show for Jeff Hardy, I now want to see Jeff Hardy hurt the person who framed him and dive down to depths the likes of which we've never seen before. Effective storytelling in my book, I reckon. I guess this is just a lesson for all of us professional wrestling fans. Let's not be too knee-jerk in our reactions. Let's allow the storylines that we see appear on our professional wrestling shows play out and reach their conclusions. I know it's hard. I know I'm guilty just about as everybody else, but this week's Jeff Hardy storyline was a nice reminder that storylines have a beginning and they have an end. Let's just enjoy the ride a bit more. I hate the concept of this show. That show does not allow me to do that. Anyway, Jeff Hardy hurt the man, presumably Shamus, who framed you at the start of this week's show. Good stuff. It was a throwback. Let's move on. Hey, it's Jason Jordan making his big return to TV, but hang on a second, there he is with Jamie Noble. A brand new J&J security has arisen. So despite Randy Orton crapping all over the greatest wrestling match ever tagline, all while buying an aeroplane for himself, that man must have a massive willy. Yes, despite Randy Orton crapping on it in a backhanded sort of way, WWE started this week's SmackDown by proving they're sticking with it. I guess how could they go back on it now? With the tagline, with the theme song, they've gone balls deep on this thing, but precisely 50% of the people in that picture there are clearly not on board with that thing there. So good God, what a mess they've made for themselves. I can't wait to see Backlash and what they produce. So do we call him Drew Gulak now, or do we still call him Daniel Bryan's training partner, WWE? You petty bastards. It was good to see Gulak back though. It was good to see him back. And I cannot have been the only person thinking, bloody hell, Adam Pearce is absolutely massive. But then it was revealed that he stood on a plinth. And in his own immortal words, as he breaks up all of the backstage and ringside scuffles, that cameraman, that camera shot, what are you doing, man? And then we have Cesaro, of all people, being a total and utter and a complete bastard. Which I guess he should be, since he is technically, within the realms of kayfabe, a dirty, dastardly heel. But still, this is Big Dick Tony we're talking about. A smashing wrestler, a stand-up guy. I quite frankly could not believe he was capable of being such a bastard, but he was on last night's SmackDown. So Adam Pearce has just been told that Jeff Hardy has been arrested. Adam Pearce announces this to the group, and Big Dick Tony, with a big, dickish, smug, poo-eating grin on his face, shouts, "Again?" And then he laughed, so he did. I just didn't think Cesaro was capable of this. Are you kidding me, idiot? That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Not the words of Randy Newman, of course, but the words of AJ Styles to Daniel Bryan. And this came after Daniel Bryan suggested, rather than AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan going straight to the finals of the Intercontinental Championship tournament, Bryan and Styles have matches against people in that scene there with their spots in the tournament on the line. Now I'm making this a WTF moment because imagine AJ Styles, of all people, saying that's the dumbest thing he's heard Daniel Bryan say after Daniel Bryan outed AJ Styles as a potential flat earther on Talking Smack back in the day. But there's stuff out there, you just can't handle it. Get in the bin, man, flat earth Al. You really are an idiot, AJ Styles said to Daniel Bryan, and I'm making this a WTF moment with the previous point in this crappy video fresh in your minds, because AJ Styles in this instance is right. It's true. Daniel Bryan is a massive idiot. And I'm saying this because Daniel Bryan saw there was a free trip to Paradise, the finals of the Intercontinental Championship tournament, there for the taking. AJ Styles said, no, I'm not going to wrestle. I'm going to go straight to the final. And Adam Pearce allowed that thing to happen. But Daniel Bryan was all like, no, I've got to be the workhorse for the workhorse title. That means bugger her all. Here in the year 2020, I want to wrestle and earn my way to the final. Idiot! Why would you wrestle more than you have to? This is something we already knew, of course, but baby faces in WWE are really, really silly. Now, I know I said I'd never ever mention anything about the pandemic in these crappy WTF Moments videos ever again, because every single time I did so, the really hard men in the comment section down there would call me a snowflake and people like that, but I've got to bring this up. I can't hold it in. We have Maggle Cole boasting about social distancing and how the people in the crowd inside the Performance Centre have to practice and observe social distancing, all while there's a massive battle royal taking place in the ring. And I know AEW have done exactly the same. You can stop yourself there. I'm only mentioning it now because I did make a precedent for myself. I did say I'd stop mentioning this pandemic in these videos, but that there from Maggle Cole was scandalous. I had to bring it up, and now we go back to not mention the pandemic in these videos. I hope those bellends who call me a snowflake are happy. Up yours! Made a grave mistake, Corey. So here we see a scene where Maggle Cole is speaking about Lacey Evans, and Corey Graves replies to Maggle Cole, "Maggle, I didn't hear a word you just said." Big mistake, Corey Graves. Huge mistake. Some might say a grave mistake here, Corey Graves. We know that Alexa Bliss and Mandy are on your laminated bit of paper, but adding Lacey Evans as well, that might be one name too far for Carmella to handle. Why does my voice do this? Carmella, maybe, is not gonna be happy. She's not gonna be happy. All the best to you, Corey Graves. So when speaking to Lacey Evans, who was all of 5 yards away, maybe 6, at an absolute push, 7 yards away, why did Sonya Deville have to pick up the commentator's headset to speak to Lacey Evans, who was at an absolute maximum 8 yards away? That was weird. So here we have the direct quote from the Forgotten Sons right here. We have, "I'm Sergeant Jackson Riker. I'm Corporal Steve Cutler. And I'm the one person who truly appreciates all they've done for our country. I'm Wesley Blake." Ha ha! And I was thinking when Wesley Blake said that, poor old Wesley Blake, eh? Not to mention the fact that Wesley Blake was clearly reading his promo that was all of 3 sentences long. That segment did absolutely nothing for Wesley Blake. How are we meant to take this guy seriously, eh? And I think Matthew would be saying, "Send for the man" here, would he? We have Maggle Cole who says, "Nikki is infectious, yeah! Go Lexi, go Lexi, go!" And Corey Graves replies, "Infected?" Maggle Cole losing the plot completely is something that doesn't happen all too regularly. So therefore, it has to be a WTF moment. But I don't know about you. After all of these interactions between Nikki Cross and Maggle Cole, I want to see the Big Show scrapped from Netflix and replaced with a sitcom where Maggle Cole adopts Nikki Cross, becomes her daddy. Not that kind of daddy. Becomes her father, of course, and we see all of the trouble those two little whippersnappers get up to. I reckon there's all kinds of fun to have there. Maggle Cole and Nikki Cross, a partnership made in heaven. And I don't know about you, but I literally thought I was watching the early stages of a 1990s porn film right here. I mean, I can only presume the acting is just like that in some 1990s porn films. I don't watch porn, ma'am. No, I don't. It was just this moment here from my pal Otis. I was thinking, am I still watching professional wrestling? Or somehow, some way, have I ended up on Porny Hub? Porny Hub. What the hell's going on? Care to test the winners, May Reeveston Shane, said Otis. I don't know how to feel about that. Is it too cringy? Is it what it should be? I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I don't know what I'm feeling. But I know for certain I am not feeling the feelings that Mandy was feeling while she was having her wettest of wet dreams. What a sentence, eh? Mandy Rose likes big sweaty men. Mandy Rose likes big sweaty men. Mandy did a Vince McMahon. And more on that there. Good God Almighty. They are necking on with tongues and everything. The commitment that Mandy and Otis are showing to this storyline should be applauded. That was gruesome. But then we get to what was my personal highlight of this week's SmackDown. We see Mandy and Otis necking on with tongues and everything inside that swimming pool. Then the best transition in WWE television history happened. We see the graphic thing that they used to transition between One Shot and Tudor. That flashes up, and the first thing we see after Otis and Mandy necking on is Kurt Angle, who unknowingly, unwittingly, just became a pervy Kurt. Pervy Kurt heel. I don't want to talk about that. Kurt Angle likes Mandy and Otis kissing. Kurt Angle likes Mandy and Otis kissing. Kurt Angle has a funny resting face. But then we see Kurt Angle speaking to somebody really tall who was standing behind the camera. Why can't anybody in WWE speak to the camera lens these days? We see Gronk on this week's Raw looking just below the camera. Wesley Blake was looking over there somewhere reading a card. And now Kurt Angle, who can cut a promo, is not speaking to the camera. Speak to the cameraman. Anyway, Kurt Angle introduces Matt Riddle to the Smackity Down audience, and I cannot wait to see Matt Riddle on Smackity Down. Let's get Matt Riddle retiring Goldberg. That's the money match there. Make it happen. But I think we need to have it confirmed what Shamus actually means by Ultimate Grand Slam Champion in WWE, because as far as I can see, the likes of Edge, Randy Orton, people like that, they've already done what Shamus is looking to do. World Heavyweights, WWE, Intercontinental, United States, Royal Rumble wins, all the bells and whistles. Surely people have done that before Shamus. Let's have it clarified what that actually means. Scratch that Kurt Angle one. This was my favourite moment from this week's SmackDown, because obviously when Daniel Bryan hoofs Sheamus right in the shin for being a bit of a bugger, Sheamus's natural response is to shout right at Daniel Bryan, "You dirty bastard!" Sorry neighbours, it was fantastic. And then we see some match graphics for Backlash 2020, and it would appear that all of the matches that are going to happen at Backlash 2020 will be the greatest wrestling match ever. How is that possible? What are they doing? I have no idea anymore. But I've been Ross Twiddell from Cultaholic.com. Yes, if you haven't seen this week's SmackDown yet, it's well worth a watch from start to finish. I like the call back to an Attitude Era / ruthless aggression storyline, something we need to let play out before casting judgment. It's hard, I know, but there we go. The lessons in life are hard and harsh to learn, aren't they? What am I saying here? I'm rambling. You probably hate me hair, don't you? I can't win. No star.